This is the Unstoppable Frankie Picasso. You are listening to Mission Unstoppable Radio on Blog Talk Radio. The time in Toronto is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 in Los Angeles, and 8 a.m. in Thailand, where my guest is calling in from while filming a new movie with his co-star, Jean-Claude Van Damme. My guest this evening is an actor, writer, and director, Josef Cannon. You may know him from Wildcats, where he starred with Goldie Hawn, Woody Harrelson, and Wesley Snipes. You may have seen him in the movie Like Mike, or as a guest on CSI, Crossing Jordan, or Las Vegas. Perhaps you saw him while in Chicago, where he starred in Livin' Fat, or as a Klingon in Star Trek on The Next Generation. Wherever you saw him, you would have noticed a few things. He's incredibly handsome, incredibly intelligent, and very talented. But these are not his most outstanding characteristics. No, Josef Cannon is unstoppable in the face of adversity, injustice, and he would do just about anything, and has, for love. Please meet Josef Cannon. Good evening, Josef, or good morning to you. It's 8 a.m. in Thailand. Hi.
Hi, Frankie. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Really well. Now, we met online about, 3 years ago, perhaps? You were writing,
yes.
I was writing. And we got engaged with your story. You were full on in the abduction of your daughter. But let's just talk about Thailand for a few moments here, because you are filming a new show there, new movie, I should say, and it's what's the name of it?
The name of the film is called Full Love, and it stars Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay, and you play a paraplegic, I think.
Yes, my character Bobby Jackson is the best friend of Jean-Claude's, and he happens to be paraplegic. He was wounded in the war during a battle, and that's how he ended up in that position.
Okay, and so when you had to get ready for that movie, you spent some time in a wheelchair, didn't you?
Yes, I did. When I found out that I was fortunate enough to land the role, I found out April 21st, and then the next day. And then the next day, I went out and got a wheelchair, and then for the next 100 days in a row, I spent pretty much all of my time doing everything in the wheelchair, from shopping.
Did you do the transfers and stuff too?
Everything.
Or did you stand up and get out everything?
No,
wow.
everything for the entire time preparing for the character, because the thing, Frankie, is it's more than just being a person in a chair. There's more to the dynamics and the psychological things that I wasn't aware of that this character or just anyone who may be in that position would go through. So I wanted to make sure that if I was going to portray such a figure, that I did some justice and wasn't creating the typical movie characterization. Yeah.
Now you live in Marina Del Rey, right? Is this
yes,
where
that's correct.
Is this where you did your 100 days? Is that where you were living at the time?
Yes, I did, which was quite interesting. One moment my neighbors saw me walking around, healthy, as they assumed, and then the next day, and the next 100 days, should I say, they had to witness me in this wheelchair doing different things. And in the beginning, I didn't even say why I was in the wheelchair. They would ask me, and because I was so in the character, I would even respond to most of my neighbors who were inquiring. When they were stopping, and you could see the double takes, and you could see some of the the confusion on their faces.
Were some people afraid to talk to you? Did they not meet your eyes?
Oh, most definitely. And it was weird because in the beginning, not knowing what it's like to be in that position, not knowing what to expect from others who would see you in that position, you automatically assume that everyone is going to be friendly, everyone's going to be supportive, because I felt I was no different. I was still Josef. I just so happened to be Josef that's in this wheelchair that's preparing for this role, but they didn't know that. I could have been in a car accident. I could have actually had, a situation that rendered me in that position, and it was an eye-opening experience to be in the neighborhood that I've been at for many years and around people that I've known for as long as I've been there, and yet to see this 180-degree turn of how people viewed me, how people treated me, how people reacted to even seeing me. You know, I had friends or associates who couldn't even make eye contact when they saw me approach. And once I acknowledged why I was doing this, then they admitted that they had seen me 100 feet away, but they didn't want to say anything because they didn't know what to say and how to approach it. And that I found to be quite interesting, seeing that I was the one, presumably, in the wheelchair. Why would they be embarrassed or uncomfortable? And it just goes to show you that sometimes when we see someone in a position that we aren't able to do something to help or to change, it can make us feel uncomfortable. And again, this whole experience, not just with this film, but the preparation of that and all the wonderful people that I was able to meet and spend time with and to learn from, and I've always felt that I was a compassionate person. But as this experience went on, from one day to a week to 2 weeks to months to now it's been 6 months, I think, since this whole thing has started, and it's become second nature to me. But more importantly, a lot of the psychological things I'm slowly, even now, still understanding, and I find myself, I can't say feeling the same way, because I do know at the end of the day I can get up and walk away. So I would never, ever liken myself to anyone who has had to experience that full time. But it definitely gave me a sense of not just appreciation for my life, but I would have to say an appreciation for their lives, because to take this constant indifference from people, from strangers, you don't mind.
Invisibility, right?
I guess correct. I think,
yeah.
Yes, I think when it's strangers, you really don't mind, because they don't know you, and you really don't have a connection with them or relationship with them. But when you come across people that you've shared things with and you've done things with, and all of a sudden they act differently, then that's when it's an eye-opening experience.
Yeah, I wonder if it's more than embarrassment. If it's, I'm so glad. I'm afraid that could be me, so I don't want to look. I don't want that to be me. I don't even want to think about it. Indifference over. I mean, it's why we don't look at the homeless. It's why we don't look at other people, because we're afraid. I think more so than